Hello, everyone.
Hi,
I'm Wisdom Seeker Joan, and this is Starfish Jennie. How are you?
everybody.
It's good to have you here. Thanks for coming. Um, and we're here to talk about and kind of explore past lives. So if anybody wants to have a past life reading, put your request in the chat. Do all caps if you can, and we'll see what we can do. We did this once before, and it was kind of fun. And since that time, Jenny has had more training in this type of thing. And so can you explain the class you took with Val?
Uh, Dragonfly Crystals, Valerie, she gave this class to teach us how to read the Akashic Records. And it's very affordable. It's only like 2 hours. And so there were some people in it that had taken classes before, some people that had never taken a class, a lot of people from the chats, and everybody got it. Everybody was reading the Akashic Records immediately once she taught us how to do it. And she's the best teacher, and I mean she's just the greatest teacher, and she is so high vibrational. If you notice, she's like laughs all the time. So I really highly recommend anybody that's interested in taking that class, because there's one coming up on the 14th of October. So, and if you join her group, which is $5 a month, you get all her classes for free, which is amazing. But yeah, I mean, and we have practice every Sunday night now too. So the group
That's
is
cool.
the Joan, you're going to be in the next class.
You
There's a
bet.
next class that missed the first one. They're getting on the bandwagon. Then we're going to all be practicing every Sunday night. So everybody's going to be reading Akashic Records fast. This
It'll
one,
be fun.
everybody has their own Akashic Records masters. And the Akashic Records are not out there somewhere. You don't have to go to them. They're in your field. Your Akashic Records are in your field. So, when people read you, they might not be getting into your Akashic Records, but they're in your Akashic field. So it's very interesting. It's very loving, high vibrational. So yeah.
Thank you. And I just want to say hello to some folks. There's Juno and Viviani. Thank you for coming. Akila B, Morella, and let's see, Jessica Lynn. And let's see, so far I have starred Junosphere, Aquila B24, Morella, and let's see, yeah, Aquila, I've got you 3 times here. There, excuse me, and Jessica and Viviani. So we'll get going on that. But I also just wanted to, chat a little bit about, so what's the benefit? I mean, why should we be looking at past lives? If Jenny, if you have examples of how knowing about a past life experience has helped you in this life, let me know. And if anybody else has an example that they'd like to share, please do.
Yeah. So the reason to remember some of your past lives, not all of them, but it will help you in this lifetime. Maybe heal something that happened to you before, and then it'll help you ascend now. I mean, we're kind of all here to like heal up, I guess. Um, so I remember 3 or 4 of my past lives, and then one came to me in a dream, and I dreamed that I was in World War II, and I was a man. Remember being a man, and I guess I was undercover. I don't know if you'd call it a spy, but like I remember going to a ball or a dance that all the Nazis were there, and there was this one of us was like singing to kind of she sang this beautiful song to like take the attention away from us. And what we actually were doing was we were planning to help children escape to France. So we would get together, and we decided to have 2 cars, and maybe if one car didn't make it, the other car would. So I think they both made it into France. And then we went back in for some reason. I don't know why. And we were in this huge house. I wouldn't call it a castle, but it was a huge house up on the hill. And um, they just detected that we were there, so they like shot up the house. And I remember like diving out of a window and I wasn't, and then I remember thinking I'm dead. I just knew that I was dead, but I wasn't upset. It didn't hurt. But the reason I think the reason I had that was to prove to me that I was thinking that I had bad karma, that I had done some bad things. And of course, over the lifetimes, everybody does a little bad, but it was showing me that you haven't done anything bad. Don't worry about it. So that was a great dream. And it was when you have a dream like that, that's showing you a lifetime, or you sense that that's your guides showing you a past life. So how does that sound?
That sounds great. And I wanted to say hi to Rishi, who joined us, and Beck Latzian, and a couple other people have joined. And Akila says, three's the magic numbers. I love that. Okay. Yeah, I've had some experience with past lives, but I talk about for years and years, I saw the family psychic, and she was more focused on, great if it has some sort of bearing on this life, wonderful, but we're here to live in this life now. So that was what her counsel was, to if there's something in a past life that has relevancy that can help you in this one, great. And I had an experience with that just recently. Somebody did a reading for me, and I've been told this by other psychics too, that I've been doing this kind of work in other lives, many other lives. And people have said, the reason that maybe I'm a little iffy about it, or haven't like totally given myself to it, and I feel like I'm, don't have as clear a connection as I want, is because, of course, I've been put to death many times for doing this kind of work. Jackie, I got your question or your name, and so that makes sense to me. So that'll help me kind of clear things out, and be able to do better work here, or I'm hopeful at least.
Yeah.
Anyhow, well, this is great. There's just 7 people here, supposedly, and let's start in. It'll be a small but intimate group.
Well, just let me say that we're not really actually going into your official Akashic records, because there's a process to that, and it would take too long. I mean, we can't do that for every single person. We're just going to kind of read you and read your field and see what we can get.
Yeah, and this is a little outside the norm for me. So here I am making excuses already after what I just said.
They're good at it.
But we'll see what happens, and for entertainment purposes only. But let's start off with Juno, who's with us today. So, Junosphere, what were you up to in a past life?
Well, I got right away that she was a Native American, but Juno's had so many lives; she's been everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
And when I tuned in, and maybe because you were telling a story about World War II people or something, when I tuned in, right away I saw a horizontal. My third eye lit up, and I saw a horizontal image that became a plane, the wings of a plane, and it did look like that era, World War II, 40s, 30s, 40s, probably 40s era of a plane, and it was flying, and I could see snow-covered mountains underneath. But it wasn't crashing. It was just, okay, Spirit, tell me more about what does this image have to do with Juno? Oh, that's right. They said that in this life, the life that I'm seeing, you were some young man who came from a small town or out in the country or something, and had, pretty much not been off the farm, and you got shipped off to Europe, and after going to flight school and everything, and they're showing me this, and so you were flying missions. And I'm not seeing any kind of warfare or bombs or anything going off. I'm just seeing you flying in this area and making these turns. And it's like, is she going to crash? Is there going to be a bomb? What's going on? But no, the message was that it gave you a broader view of the world. You were this protected person who, you were just kind of working on the farm, and you knew people in the farm community. And it was like going into outer space to be up in the air and off in another country, flying around the Alps, and it just kind of blew your mind. And I think this might be of relevance to you in this life because of the things that you're exploring now, and of course other lifetimes that you've had. But it's the main point of it is you went from a very limited to a very expansive, at least for that time, view of creation. And even, from being on the ground to being, I don't know, half a mile up or something like that, it doesn't seem that big nowadays. It was the equivalent of going into outer space, and you're kind of doing the same thing now. I hope that made some sense to you.
Yeah. I think it also gave her the want to like travel the world. But I do think in that lifetime she went home and lived out a happy life. Yeah, Joan, you're right. I mean, there's nothing unhappy about that lifetime, which is good.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's nice to just have a relatively normal lifetime. One time someone told me that in one lifetime, and this was my original family psychic too. I think I was worried about my son when he was really little. And she said, "Well, that makes sense because you were a pedophile in another life." And I was kind of like, "What?" And she's like, "Girl, get over it.
Oh
We've all been everything." And it's like, okay, well, that's probably why I was being very protective of this gorgeous little toddler. But she said, and don't worry about it because somebody had done the same thing to you. But it's,
well,
it makes you a lot less judgmental.
yeah,
Oh,
things happen in your past lives. I mean, they come forward into your current life to, help you. They really do. If it's, needed.
oh, well, I might not have gotten Juno herself, but she said I got her father. Came from a small town, small farm, went
Oh,
into the service in World War II in Europe in the Army Air Corps, but no bombs. That's good. Well,
what?
I'm getting close. Let's see if I can get one from outside this lifetime. All right, let's try Mirella. All right, thank you, Mirella. All I'm getting right now is a gold spiral pendant. Like it's like this big, and it's like a thick spiral going into the center. Maybe it's like, maybe a half inch or a quarter inch wide, the spiral. So it's kind of reminds me of Aztec or Inca, ancient Mexican, that area. So what does this say for Morella? I'm not sure if you're the person who made this, but my initial impression that you might have been like a goldsmith during those times. Oh, and now my heart is really hurting that this may have been the times when the conquistadors came and were looking for gold. I'm probably getting all my time periods and everything all mixed up because I don't really know that ancient history well. But there was something that happened where these people were sort of came under attack because people were after the gold. But you were able to preserve that somehow, and it was a very precious kind of a talisman for you. Okay, so Spirit, what is this? Why is this meaningful for Marilla? Why did you show me this life? Because it was a talisman. It's like drawing you into your soul, into the third eye, into the world beyond, and maybe that's, you could find something like that, or maybe you have something like that that might be of use now. I hope that makes some sense. How about you, Jenny?
Well, I got islands. I can't tell whether they're Caribbean or like Bali, and that she lived a life on those islands and was quite beautiful and happy and just had a huge family, and like everybody in the village was a family. And maybe maybe she was like a leader of that, but she was quite beautiful, almost like a princess, um, but not really, but like that. Um, yeah, it's a really beautiful scene. So that's what I have to say. So that's two
Good.
different.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So here, let's try. Oh,
Ask her if she's drawn to either one of those places.
yeah, Marilla, do you have any kind of feeling or resonance with either of those places, or gold jewelry or anything like that? Let us know. A priestess. Yes. In the meantime, we will put Aquila B up here. And yeah, let's see what we can find for Aquila.
I'm getting that she's angelic.
Hmm.
Wow. You know, there are people who are angels and they incarnate. I think she comes from the angelic realm.
Cool.
That's just my.
Um, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. What I saw, the very first thing I saw was like a big piece of wood, like a club, and you're pounding grain in. It's like a huge mortar and pestle type of thing, and it's just drudgery. It's just drudgery. But then and that's all I saw were your hands on this club while you're doing this drudgery work. But then it backed up and it showed that you were wearing really colorful clothing. And when I immediately thought of like people in Guatemala who wear that really bright woven colors, sort of checks in with like the black hat and everything. And so I asked, what's the significance of that and that you've brought forward? And it's the idea, and it was kind of odd to see that this woman was doing like everyday chores, kind of dressed up so in what I would have assumed would have been more fancy, special clothes. And I think they put those two together because they're saying in that life, you learned that, you know, the work, the drudgery, is part of the yin and yang of life, of the, what you have to do to survive, to have the good times and everything, and that somehow you've brought that through. That you work hard, maybe you work hard and play hard, or you work hard and have a feeling of being, I don't know, maybe like holidays and feast days and family times or something. You kind of work hard to make those times special. And there's a special reverence about that. And they're like, you balance things out really well. And I think it was a way then to kind of rise above the drudgery, or not even consider it drudgery, but it was part of the flow of life that included the more festive and happy times, what needed to be done. I hope that made some sort of sense. Let us know. Okay, now Morella said, I found my husband's gold medallion and necklace the other day, which he wore when dating, the pendant of Jesus. Interesting. And let's see, and they went to the Caribbean on their honeymoon. So that might have had some relevance there too. Good work.
Yeah. A lot of times you revisit where you've lived before.
Yeah.
I've done that. And usually when you do it, you're either really happy, or if it wasn't a good life, you're not happy. But yeah. So sometimes you'll go back to where you had a happy life.
Yeah. I was I had a trip to India for business a long time ago now, and I was there for a month. And I went with a colleague who pretty much cried the whole way on the plane because she,
Sure.
she was not open to even to many things. And I can understand, because she had, grade school age kids and all of that, and I'm sure it would have been difficult. But I was like, I can't wait. And it did kind of feel like coming home. And a reader said, "Oh yeah, you've been there before," so that was kind of fun.
Yep.
So thanks, Marilla, for that feedback. And let's see what we can pull forward for Jessica Lynn. Oh, hold it. Marilla says, thank you, and we were happy there. Beautiful. Wonderful.
Nice.
And Akila B says, I'm always trying to balance the family. Okay, good. All right. Now, okay, for Jessica Lynn.
Well, I get cowboy. So the thing about reading Akashic Records, when you're in, the answers come really fast. It's not like you have to go searching. They come. So I know I sound like I'm coming fast, but like I just get cowboy, good life, family person, of course, a man, um, loves animals, you know, loved horses, even loved those cows. Um, just a really happy life and happy family. And I can actually feel the joy in my heart of that. I can feel it. Wow, that's super good. Man. Okay, I'm done.
And I'm getting something totally different. I wasn't like feeling the life, but it was in olden times somewhere. And the first thing I saw was like a spinning wheel, and then after you spin the wool or whatever, then you wind it up on a skein. And then I saw a what was it called? Like a water wheel going around, and that was powering, I don't know, the mill or something like that. Everything I saw had something to do with spinning. And then I saw old wooden wheels on an axle. So I don't know if this was all in one place, but the overall idea was movement and how just harnessing nature or whatever, whether it's the wool or whatever, to move things forward, using the water for the water wheel to grind the mill, the horses to pull the wagon and the wheels. It was something about moving. Spirit, tell me more about this. What was this life really about? Oh, the idea that Spirit's giving to me is that you could look at a life like that and think those people who worked at that mill alongside the river, they were there from when they were young and they raised their family there, and they never, went more than a couple of miles from where they lived. But the whole, rather than like flying off to Europe or something like that, their whole journey was about the movement of the river and of the wheels and of the seasons, and that was the idea of movement there. But it was, so they were like in tune with the seasons and with the river and with Mother Earth. Okay, now they're showing me rotation of Mother Earth, and that it was a very um, it was a very pleasant life. There was a lot to do. There was no downtime really, but they really did live in tune with nature and with the earth in a way that we don't now. So I'm not quite sure exactly what all that meant, but I hope that that had some sort of meaning for you, Jessica. And let's see who else has come. I think MCB00 is here. And yeah. All right. Let's see what we can find out for Viviani. Oh, and here Jessica Lynn said she's feel like she's becoming more connected to nature. It's a different kind of travel. There we go.
So I think that Viviani, I feel that Viviani was a shaman uh, in many, many lifetimes. In one, one way or the other, she was a priestess. She was a priest. She was a shaman. She was a teacher. She was a leader in many, many of her lives. So, how does that bring forward to this life? She should do it again. That's why they keep showing um, what she's done before. She has a lot of knowledge. She has a lot of ancient knowledge. Um, Maybe even back to like the very beginning with the our star being friends, or like Lemuria. She's always been a teacher or a shaman. So there you go.
This is so interesting because we're getting completely different stuff. And we're not turning into the same life, that's for sure. And I feel like they're sending me the images I'm seeing as a contrast because so many of our lives, because we've probably all had thousands or at least hundreds of them, that a lot of them, I'm sure, were just kind of mundane. This one wasn't particularly mundane, but you were a male. I get the feeling that this was in America. And sorry, Viviani, but I saw you on a chain gang. You were a prisoner with a big, you're working like on the railroad or something, doing something with a big sledgehammer, breaking up rocks or doing something like that. And the first thing I saw was that huge, heavy sledgehammer. And I thought, what is this about? And then I backed up and saw, yep, it was the chain gang with the striped suit and everything. And it was your only escape was mental and some camaraderie with the people you were there with, but they were not your friends. I have no idea why you were in there, if it was just or not, but they're sending that to me because even in those circumstances, you found a way to rise above it. Even though you kind of like left your body was there cracking the rocks and doing the hard work, and you found a way to survive by rising above it and going to spirit and having this mental and at the time you probably wouldn't have said spiritual life, but you were having these other experiences in the midst of horrors. So I hope life doesn't get that tough for you again, but I think it is a message that even in hard times there's ways that we can uh, inject spirit or find spirit in our lives in a ways that can make even the hardest times more bearable. That was kind of a sad one, but I hope that makes
But
some sort of sense.
sounds sad, but really not. I mean, she made good use of that time. So she was honing her psychic abilities and her psychic skills and
Yeah.
really going to the next level or a whole bunch of more levels. So she made good use of that. It was good learning, good learning for her.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, thank
there
you,
you
Viviani.
everybody loves Viviani. Like, I don't know if she realizes it, but people say it all the time. Like, uh, in the chats, like the when she was like helping out in the chats, all the readers love her. Like, she is showered with love. I hope she feels that
I hope
and,
so too.
and appreciated. One time, Valerie said that she was Viviani's biggest fan, and I'm like, nah, I am. Yeah.
Well, let's do one for Jackie. Yeah. And
She's from Australia now, isn't she?
I'm not sure.
I think so. She answered that question. Where's she from now?
From the UK.
Okay. No. Then she's been to Australia then. I'm getting locations like boom.
Go ahead.
I just get locations. So let me work on that. You go.
Okay. Well, I was going through my cards because I saw you as a Native American, kind of like a princess or something. You were riding on a horse, and then I saw you, and you had, the beaded headband with feather in it, and you found a feather, and I was seeing the feather really, really clearly. And I'll take some time and see what if I can see it. It wasn't an eagle feather; it was something else. But I think it was indicative of, feathers then were a message from spirit, as well as from the birds themselves. There was imbued with meaning. Okay, so spirit, why is this life meaningful for Jackie now? They're just saying it was a time when you were very in tune with spirit and in tune with uh, not only with nature, but with synchronicities, like finding the feather. Why, what else happened to her in this lifetime that was relevant to where she is now? You're a really good horseback rider. I mean, this horse, and you were just one. What else was happening in this life that was relevant? I'm not seeing you with anybody else. I'm seeing you like you were somebody who would go out on your own exploring, and yeah, go back to the tribe or to the village. But you were a very spiritual person who spent a lot of time on her own, observing nature and taking and seeing the signs, both nature signs and signs from spirit, and kind of gathering that up. And then I'm seeing you as an older woman, taking your grandkids out to kind of teach them, to passing down the ancient wisdom. And it was a I am getting the feeling now that it was you really liked that life. It was really, even though there was nothing flashy or about it, it was really you really enjoyed it. You really loved being in tune with the tribe and with the family, and especially with nature, and especially with that horse. I hope that makes some sense. Oh, last week she saw 3 feathers. Good.
Nice. Okay, I got more.
Okay.
So I think, I not think, I feel, or it comes to me. It comes to me, and you have to just say what comes.
Right.
Whether it's right or wrong, you have to say it. Um, that she did live in Australia, and she was part of the people that were sent to Australia from England as, um, for whatever reason, debtor's prison or something. But then when she got there, this is the good part. She like rose to be like a mayor or a leader. She made a really good life there, and I really think that, I don't know if you call it a mayor, but she was like the leader of the town, and she helped a lot of people, and she had a good life. And yeah, there were animals in that lifetime too. I think there was a horse there, horses there too. Um, but yeah, she took something that could have been horrendous, and here she was shipped off to somewhere she'd never been before, with a lot of people that maybe weren't the best people in the world, and she just rose above it, and helped a lot of people, and she was actually very happy there. I think she was a man, and so how does that help you now? It help a lot of people now, and I think you can organize things, and that was part of your abilities back then too. And you never gave up. So, you could have given up, but you didn't. And so you made a great life there. Okay, that's what I have to say.
Cool. And she thinks it's cool too. And I was looking through it, and the feather that I saw looked sort of like, it was black and white. And one of these is the nuthatch, and one is the magpie. And the nuthatch is the one about taking a different perspective, because they can climb either way on the tree. And the magpie says, reevaluate your priorities, let go of what you no longer need. So I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting that a lot of these are about people who took a difficult situation or whatever and made the best of it. From Viviani and the Chain Gang to a lot of these, being Jackie being shipped off to Australia. Good work, everybody.
Yeah. Does anybody in the chat have a story they want to tell?
Yeah. Oh, and Marilla was saying kind of the same thing. Well, think about any stories you want to tell while we tune into Joyful Journey.
Joyful Journey. I like that.
Thanks, Jackie. I'm having fun too. I hope you were. Okay. Tony, I'm starring yours, so you'll be, let's see, just a second. You're in line. We'll get to you, Tony. All right.
I'm just all over the place today, so I get something really crazy that's it's really even hard to say it. I think she was a star being in her in one of her previous lives.
Could you say that again? I didn't hear.
I think she was a star being.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Because I didn't really get anything from Earth. I wonder if she's like a star seed. What are you getting?
Well, that makes kind of sense. All I'm really seeing are the spires of like European cathedrals. And the first thing I felt was from my third chakra up, bing, 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 they all lined up and kind of lit up. But in first and second, the more grounded ones, no. So this makes sense. And I was thinking, well, was she a stonemason? Was she up on all those rickety scaffolds working on the cathedrals? But I let's see. What can you tell us about this? I think you might have been one of the designers or architects who envisioned this and probably inspired by something outside of the earthly realm, whether it was angels or her galactic friends. But yeah, and the whole idea of those cathedrals is everything's pointed up, 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 and the spires got taller and thinner and just reaching toward the sky. And part of that is to send the energy, to make energy pathways between earth and sky, or earth and heaven, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, no, I'm seeing more like plans on like blueprints or something on a table outside as you're directing workers. So that's kind of interesting. It's you came from above. I hope that is helpful. Do you get anything more on that?
Well, yeah, when I get that kind of information, I'm not exactly sure, but it just Palladian just came to me. So maybe she was Palladian at one time.
Cool.
But yeah, very, very interesting.
Yeah, that was very different.
So she's here to help us ascend.
Perfect. Thank you. We all need the help.
We're getting there though.
Cool. Wonderful. So that was kind of fun. Okay, here's Rishi for the relationship between he and his parents. Okay, well, that was a good question. What past life experience is impacting this present relationship?
Well, I'm getting that, they are your soul family. And so you come back and forth all the time. And, one time you're a brother or a sister, and the next time you're a son, and the next time you're a boss. Y'all just been doing this for a long time. So that you can all experience different um, experiences of life. So that doesn't mean they're always fun, but it teaches us something. Okay, Joan, you get something more concrete.
Well, I've got something concrete. I can't tell who the characters are in this. I'm seeing an old sailing ship, and there's one person who's the captain at the wheel, and there's another person who's up in the crow's nest, and then there's another person who at first was kind of up by the, I don't know, the prow or whatever at the front, and then was back further working the sails. And I got the feeling that there was trouble working together because they all had different vantage points. They were all doing something sort of different, but they weren't quite coordinated. It's like, no, 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 do it this way because I can see with my periscope up far what's happening here. And who's ever working the ropes on the sails is like, well, you don't understand. It takes a while. I can't turn on a dime or whatever. There's just they're a team. They're working together, but because they have different viewpoints, the attitude of how we should work together is different. Different perspectives, bringing different perspectives, and it's hard. This crew on the ship is having a hard time coordinating their efforts into a smooth sailing ship. That's what I'm saying. I hope that makes some sense.
So you've been them before. Just remember that. When you're like really frustrated with them, just step back, take a deep breath, another deep breath, and go, I have been them before. So maybe that will help give you some insight into, I don't know, how they feel or something. Something about how they feel.
And Marilla says, sometimes you come back to learn together. Bad or good, you'll learn it all as a family. Well, that was very insightful.
Yeah.
Okay. And Fern, thanks for joining. And I've got your question starred. Anyhow, we hope that gave some light onto your situation, Rishi. And now, Tony, you're next. Tony Stokes would like to know if she's had a past life in Florence, Italy during the Renaissance period. Well, let's see.
You go first, Joan.
I did a psychic just to ask the question, uh, as she stated it, and I got a very small yes, and I got the idea that it was on, maybe one end or the other. Uh, I think it's more the earlier part of the era, kind of straddling that. So I haven't really tuned in to see if I can get the full life.
I mean, it all sounds crazy. I mean, I have to admit, it just sounds nuts. But I got painter, flamboyant, artist, gay man that really enjoyed his life quite a lot, like to the fullest. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have children or a family, but everybody was his family. So he was like the leader of his own little tribe, and quite talented. Also, interior design, not just painting, but maybe painting interiors. I think he did interiors. Yeah. So that's what I've got.
Yeah. I got painter too, but not just a painter. I think this person did lots of other things. But mainly the biggest quality I get out of this person is huge heart, lots of love. Um, yeah, my heart chakra is just kind of on fire about this area, and I do get the idea it was an exciting time because it was sort of a transition time, and this is somebody who might have been ahead of the curve introducing new ideas, and I'm seeing somebody kind of shaking the table, and the dishes are clinking on it because he's like shaking things up a little bit and making people a little uncomfortable, but uh, I'm getting that joy of life that you were referring to too.
Yeah, I got that he had a huge heart also.
Yeah.
And very talented, very connected, and of course he got his artistic and talents from spirit. So he was connected to spirit too.
Yeah.
What a great life.
And she says, that aligns with me now. I like to come up with ideas. Good for you. And she thanks us for the validation. Wonderful. And here's Fern, who's wondering if she had a lifetime as an artist. Maybe you guys knew each other. Okay, Fern.
Maybe. I mean, how many of us that meet up in the chats have met each other in other lives? I would have to say a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe all of us.
It's more than the algorithm that brought us together.
Oh my.
I'm thinking I keep getting a textile artist and I'm getting multiple lives. One maybe in England or in Europe doing really fancy embroidery, and not like embroidery that goes on a sampler but like really beautiful, like more like brocade, that kind of stuff, or really, royalties, outfits, that type of thing. And then it went back to India, where you were the person who was involved with designing the beautiful cotton fabrics, that India is known for, colorful fabrics that were made in whatever area you were. And then it jumped back to China and the beautiful, brocade, golden thread clothing. So it's, yes, you were an artist, but what I'm seeing in those three instances, it was bringing art, amazing artistry uh, to fabrics and textiles that was at a very, very high level.
I disagree with that. I think she was in doing so, she was wealthy, and that she spread the wealth around. She was very generous to other people because she made such ornate, beautiful fabrics. But she was kind of revered. Um, like if she was in the court in England, then she would be a high level person. Um, I do see those fabrics where they're really beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
You've been at it a long time, Vern. Let us know if that makes any
Yeah.
sense to you. And here's Terry Suzuki. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Terry.
Oh, and Vern says, wow, I have had dreams where I'm making clothes and I'm thinking about a career in fashion. Well, I don't know if you could put it on the resume, but you do have the background for it. That's for sure.
Yeah, go for that. Go for it. Well, see, that's the perfect example of how your lifetime now, you can draw from your other lifetimes. You can pull that knowledge out of the field around you, because the field, your Akashic field around you, has every bit of knowledge that you've ever had, every experience, everything. So it's all there. It's just a matter of tapping into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know. Maybe you'll be famous and rich.
Okay, we are almost at an hour, but let's do Beck. I'm sorry that I must have missed you earlier on. I'm still kind of learning how to drive here, but let's see if we can see what Beck was up to in a prior life.
Okay, so I'm seeing Beck as a man in a forest. Hmm. I think it's England. Oh, okay. I think he was part of a gypsy tribe, and he was a man. Beck was a man. And when would that have been? That would have been when, when they had the carts. They pulled the carts around, and they would go from town to town selling things. I think that's what he did.
Peddler.
Um, so I would say like a businessman of sorts, even though you were in the gypsy tribe, and also the same thing, connected to source as a gypsy, because a lot of gypsies um, are psychic and readers. That's their lineage. So I would say you could pull that through to this lifetime. Remember those talents and put them to good use.
And she says, yes, forest in England fits with my family, fit with my visit to family reunion. Learned of a pagan family member. Interesting. Okay. Oh, and I should actually be tuning in here. What I saw when I tuned in was, first of all, yes, you were a male, and it looked like you were in the desert or in Egypt or something like that, with a big staff with a curly Q on it, and your arms are out. And there's golden bands on the tops of your arms, so you look like some sort of spiritual leader, and you were calling on the heavens for something or other. And I don't know if you're trying to make it rain or blessing the crops, and that's what I was trying to figure out when the next thing I saw was somebody with an archer taking aim. So at first I thought it was some sort of holy man blessing the fields or asking for rain or something like that. But I think it might have been someone who's, I don't know, it looked like there was a battle about to take place, and you were calling on the spirits to help your side win. So in either case, you are a powerful person somewhere in an arid land. It kind of looked like the Lion King. Did I already say that? Where it's kind of stones in a more of a almost desert-like background. So very far from England, but that's what I got.
Oh, this is so much fun. I can't even tell you.
All right. Yeah. We have one more, Tanita. Let's see if we can do this one. I'd love to know what my link to my boyfriend that passed was in my past lives, in my past life. Ooh. Do you want to give that a try? Can you give us his last name, or no, his first name? Tanita, if you're still here, give us his first name. Whoops. Oh, and here's what I was trying to highlight. Always spiritual. I do stand like that with my arms out and feel the power. Oh, good. Wonderful. You've been doing that for a long time, too.
Love it.
Excellent. Oh, Ricardo. Now, this one is combining a couple of different things. So I'm not making on any of this. This is all for entertainment purposes only, of course. But let's see what a past life link between Ricardo and Tanita. Right away, I'm getting, it was like you were brother and sister. I'm seeing you like Jack and Jill, little farm kids going out to, I don't know, pick peas or something like that. Or maybe you're going up the hill to get the water. But you're kind of hand in hand going off to work on this farm. And I'm not sure. I'm not getting an indication of where it was. The landscape isn't really coming through. Rolling hills, kind of brownish green hills. It wasn't a real lush place. So, and yeah, and I think brother and sister. What do you get?
So, you're definitely soul family, and you come back and come back and come back together. So you've done this many, many, many times. And when you meet somebody that you've known in a past life, you instantly, there's a recognition. Um, so, I mean, you've been everything. You've been family, father, mother, um, married to each other, lovers. I don't really believe in twin flames, but something like that. So you actually, work together, coming back each lifetime, um, to help each other. So you're very closely connected. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Beautiful.
But he's a loving soul. I'll just say that. Of course, everybody is. Every soul is loving.
But you really felt
He
him. That's great.
don't remember.
Tanita, if you're there, let us know if that made any sense to you. And thanks, everybody. Oh, there's Sun Psychic Jean is here. And yes, I will throw you a wrench later on once
Hi, Jean.
we're off. Thanks for coming. And this is this is fun. A nice break from the politicos. Gets us thinking of past lives and all we've accomplished and survived to get here today.
Yeah.
We think these are difficult times. Think of our ancestors. That's a really, really nice perspective, Tony.
So the biggest thing is, whatever challenge you have now or whatever you're working on, you have the knowledge. You've done it before. You've been through it. You know it. Just look inside and pull it out because it's there. It's there. So, yeah.
Yeah, for good and for ill. Like if there's something bothering you, maybe that you can clear that up from a past life. And if there's a challenge, you can draw on your the times when you've been an expert at that before. But thank you so much. Oh, here we go. Here's Tanita saying, yeah, we had hardship in this life, but we couldn't leave each other. I was convinced we're connected. Well, you still are, my dear.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm sorry for your loss.
Me too.
Oh, Jenny, thank you so much. And thanks
Oh,
to everybody who came. We're getting requests to do this again, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you want to do it again sometime?
of course we'll do it again.
Yeah. Let's wait until after I have the Akashic Records class in mid-October, though.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
And with that, let's see, I should just mention that tomorrow I'm going to be on with Thayer. Thayer Hutchinson is going to be on. I think it is, well, I've lost my little piece of paper that says when it is.
Ask
But
her a story of how her visit to England was. I can't wait to hear about all that.
I know we're going to talk a lot about that and see what's up with her. And then on Saturday afternoon, I'm on with, I'll be hosting Scott Scorpio Sun Tarot, and we're going to read together. I think that's at later in the afternoon, at least like 3 or 4 o'clock on Saturday for Central Time. And you can just check my my lives coming up and see for that. But otherwise, I just am so pleased to have you. And this was really fun. I hope it was as fun for everybody as it was for me. So
everybody.
Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time around. Bye now.
Bye.